Leave me alone. Don't start running around like a pillow, like an idiot, making a show of yourself. If you've got no...
I wasn't here when that happened, so I haven't heard anything about it in camps. First time I've heard about it. Obviously, I'm not on social media.
And it is part of the process that you go through to prepare yourself for a fight.
Yeah. So
they know what they can and can't do. They won't be exposing themselves to undue risk. They'll be exposing themselves to the necessary preparation for a fight. Disappointing because
for the Furies, it's an embarrassment. You know that they said
boxing's biggest talking point right now is no longer the fight itself. It's why John Fury isn't in it. After his withdrawal from the proposed clash with Carl Froch, criticism has exploded across the boxing world, with several respected names questioning whether the injury was genuine or simply a way out.
For Big John Fury, the fighting man who never fights, to fight me. But yeah, it's just, I mean, to be honest, I can't be arsed anyway. And if I did fight him, what would it be? It'd be a couple of jabs to the face, a couple of rib shots.
Darren Till believes the timing raises too many questions to ignore. He points out that John Fury spent weeks releasing training footage and speaking confidently about the matchup, only for everything to fall apart just before fight night. In Till's opinion, that doesn't look like unfortunate timing. It looks like someone who never truly intended to follow through. He argues that the signs suggest John Fury talked a big game, but wasn't prepared to back it up when the moment finally arrived.
But at the same time, like, it would just be devastating for him and for us if he didn't fight this Saturday. So you've really got...
Frank Warren has attempted to calm the situation by reminding everyone that injuries are an unavoidable part of boxing. Fighters get hurt during training camps all the time, and withdrawals are sometimes unavoidable. But despite Warren's explanation, many fans remain skeptical. The injury came just as John Fury was preparing to face one of the toughest personalities in British boxing, making the timing difficult for many people to accept.
It's nobody's fault. It's what happens. You know, footballers get injured, sportsmen get injured.
Andy Lee has approached the controversy with far more caution. Rather than accusing anyone directly, he has carefully chosen his words and refused to jump to conclusions. Still, his hesitation has become part of the conversation. Even without making bold claims, Andy Lee's careful response suggests he isn't completely convinced that everything happened exactly as presented. Sometimes what isn't said speaks just as loudly as what is.
You know, and you find that the bigger the fighter, the bigger the character they are, you know. And it's, yeah, there is some differences. You know, they can't do all of the stuff that the lighter weights. They fight at a different pace, and I would say they're more injury prone because they're bigger men. You know, you have to be careful. You have to manage them in the right way, and that's something that's, I'm not sure the health of both fighters.
Adam Smith has also noticed how unusual the situation appears. He isn't interested in fueling unnecessary drama, but he admits the circumstances naturally raise questions. During one of the biggest fight weeks, another headline suddenly became about withdrawals instead of boxing. Smith believes the sport is built on competitors willing to accept risk, and when a major fight disappears at the last minute, people deserve clear answers.
Of things, but to have a double whammy on this sort of seismic fight week is extraordinary, and to have both fighters pull out ill and we don't really know what's wrong, also odd. But the doctors have looked at them, they're not right to fight, they shouldn't fight. The fighters are there. They're the ones that I look at all the time. My respect is for the fighters, whether they're top level or journeymen. They're the ones that put their careers and their lives at risk on the line.
Frank Warren's frustration has also become obvious. A major event with significant financial rewards was ready to happen, yet the opportunity vanished before anyone entered the ring. Throughout his career, Warren has consistently emphasized professionalism and commitment. That is why this situation has become so disappointing. Instead of celebrating a big fight, boxing is once again discussing excuses, missed opportunities, and unanswered questions surrounding John Fury.
Unbelievable purse he was getting for the fight, so we are where we are. If you're not well, you can't fight. And I'm always saying to fighters, I don't want to hear after the event anything goes wrong, or you had a bad hand, or had a cold, or, you know, Big Budgie died, you know.
Jake Paul has never been shy about sharing controversial opinions, and he didn't hold back here either. According to Jake Paul, The Fury family's constant headlines have started losing credibility because too many promises never become reality. He believes the attention has shifted from exciting fights to endless drama. When even someone outside traditional boxing begins questioning John Fury's reliability, it shows how widespread the criticism has become.
He's not as hype as everyone thought. I don't like them. I don't like anything to do with the family. I think they're sketchy. I think they're shady.
Johnny Nelson has delivered one of the strongest assessments. From his perspective, boxing rewards discipline, preparation, and professionalism, not loud theatrics. Nelson believes too much attention has been given to creating headlines instead of proving things inside the ring. Having spent decades in the sport, he says reputations are built through actions, not words. In his eyes, this entire episode has damaged John Fury's credibility more than any opponent ever could.
The source is good. And so when I'm hearing these things, I'm like, nah. And so it's popping out left, right, and centre. The source is good. And so to me, I just shook my head. And when I'd heard all this going on.
Tim Bradley understands the mindset of fighters better than most. As a former world champion, he knows that experienced competitors often recognize danger long before the opening bell. Bradley isn't directly accusing John Fury of fear, but he explains that fighters sometimes reconsider situations when they fully appreciate the challenge ahead. Whether that's what happened here remains impossible to prove, yet the speculation continues because the circumstances have left so many unanswered questions.
You see fighters not making certain moves, it's because they know already. They see the future and they see how hard, or mainly how hard something is. So, and so I knew that if I continued, I knew what the future held for me, which wasn't gonna be good. It wasn't gonna be good.
Carl Froch has responded with complete confidence. After John Fury dismissed him as a has-been, Froch immediately fired back, reminding everyone that his achievements speak for themselves. As a former world champion who built his reputation against elite opposition, Froch believes respect is earned inside the ring, not through bold interviews. He argues that John Fury underestimated both his accomplishments and his willingness to answer criticism head-on.
Me, a friggin' shithouse.
A friggin' shithouse.
To me, when you call somebody a shithouse, it means they're a bottle job. Means they're scared to fight anybody. I fear no man born from his mother. I don't even know what that means, but he's called me a has-been. What's all this has-been business?
People are only interested in current champions, men who's doing stuff today, who's getting in and fighting. No one wants to know about an has-been. And that's all these people are, has-beens.
That comes from somebody who's a never-been. Have you ever been to call me a has-been? Has-beens, it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. It comes from a jealous place.
Because they're friggin' jealous, because they're nobody.
I've never been jealous. I'm happy for boxers that get paid good money for doing the hardest, what I consider to be the hardest sport in the world.
He's been a champion of the world, but I'll tell you what, he's not a champion of the world man, is he? He's a first-class shithouse, wants to kick up the arse.
John Fury, there's no jealousy. I've never been a has-been. Once a champion.
Simon Jordan is another respected voice whose opinion has changed. Having previously defended John Fury on several occasions, Jordan now believes the focus has shifted from authenticity to attention-seeking. He says someone he once respected has become more interested in creating headlines than protecting credibility. Coming from a longtime supporter, that criticism carries significant weight.
I like John Fury. I've met him on a number of occasions and I've always felt him to be a very educated voice around boxing. His recent incarnation over the last 2 or 3 years of John becoming front and centre of the circus, like a Cirque du Soleil horror show, I think that's embarrassing.
Carl Froch has continued pressing his argument, claiming there is now a clear pattern. According to him, John Fury repeatedly creates excitement, makes big promises, and then disappears when the decisive moment arrives. Froch believes fans, promoters, and broadcasters have all waited for John Fury to finally deliver, only to be left disappointed again.
Finally, just to finish, I can't come on here and not mention Big John Fury, the fighting man. He's gone quiet again. He talks the good one, doesn't he? Talks the absolute gobshite out of himself. Doesn't fucking stop going on and on and on and on and on and fighting man. He doesn't shut up. Punching walls. And then it gets pulled onto him. John, what we're doing? Are we fighting? I think DAZN's been onto him. I think Misfits have been onto him. Calisal and the promoter, they've all been.
Duke McKenzie believes Carl Froch genuinely wants this fight and would gladly settle everything inside the ring. He sees Froch as a proven champion who has nothing left to prove except his willingness to compete whenever the opportunity exists.
He promised me unequivocally that he would smash John Fury to pieces should the event actually happen. Again, you're looking at a former world champion in Carl Froch. You're looking at a former he's a Hall of Famer, Carl Froch. You don't get into the Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, without having been pretty damn decent in your own professional career. And
Eddie Hearn has also publicly supported Carl Froch's position. In Hearn's view, Froch is ready to fight and simply wants clarity surrounding the injury claim. Until convincing evidence is presented, questions will continue surrounding John Fury's withdrawal and whether the explanation truly tells the full story.
Every man what's done that and done me in person, he's in a bad way today. Every man. Outside, I'm an animal. I'm telling you now, people who know me, or the past, they're all dead who know me. Who could say he can fight? Outside he's an animal. They're all dead and gone. I'm from old school. I'm from the 70s, 80s and 90s when men was men. We didn't talk down YouTube. So men made videos. We fought. And you see that of pussies, man. Pussies. You think some 12-stone man can beat me a 5 after that win?
Derek Chisora has taken a more sympathetic approach, suggesting that if John Fury is genuinely struggling physically, perhaps an easier matchup would be more suitable. However, Carl Froch interprets that suggestion differently. To him, recommending another opponent only reinforces the belief that those closest to John Fury understand how difficult this fight would have been.
Carl Froch is a fighter to the core. So is John Fury. Listen, it's fun, it's banter, it's entertainment. Carl said to me afterwards, hey, it's all good fun, isn't it?
If they fought, who would win?
I mean, I don't think I would go against Carl Froch ever anyway.
Okay.
In a normal fight. I mean, obviously it's a long time since he's retired, but Carl Froch is a very, very, very top fighter.
That switch up there as well.
And John Fury's a big guy, right? And he's
Finally, Adam Smith believes dismissing everything as harmless entertainment misses the real issue. Boxing is built on accountability, commitment, and showing up when challenges appear. Right now, many people feel the timeline surrounding John Fury's withdrawal simply doesn't make sense. Until those questions receive convincing answers, doubts will remain.
There's 15,000 in Manchester, and it almost feels like that was where people now start to recognise him and say, hang on a minute, this guy's bloody good. Look at what he's just done there to Jermaine Franklin. Absolutely spattered him in 5 rounds, and he looked good doing it. Didn't take a shot, did he? May took one body shot, but what's next for him? I don't think anybody's going to give him a voluntary. He's going to have to work and be mandatory for whichever belt he goes for. The Hrgovic fight's probably a good fight to say, okay, somebody else at world level, prove myself again at world level that I'm just going to completely obliterate and dominate anybody below that top 3. And I think that's what he'd do if he fought Hrgovic. He'd just get in there and absolutely, he'd vaporise him just easily. It's almost a mismatch, but he still needs to learn. He needs to go past 6 rounds.
Carl Froch believes the story ends exactly where it began. He says John Fury created this rivalry through bold words, challenged a former world champion, and then failed to deliver when the opportunity arrived. Whether people believe the injury or not, one fact is undeniable. The controversy has become bigger than the fight itself, and until John Fury proves otherwise inside the ring, the debate over his credibility is unlikely to disappear.